Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice summer evening. We had a nice, perfect summer day here in Pittsburgh until about 30 minutes ago. Had a nice dark out, and it's heavy thunderstorm. So I say that with maybe the prospect sometimes we'd lose connection, but I don't think so tonight. So, all right, so we're going to make this kind of a quickie tonight, only because we only have a half a day tomorrow, and then we don't have anything Wednesday. So, anyways, what we're going to kind of illustrate is what we saw happening today. We saw the pre-market futures. Now, remember, on Friday, we needed to see the Dow close up above the T-line. Well, when they sold it off, that was our warning flag that hold on for 1 second. Our warning flag that the bulls hadn't taken control yet. And so today, when we woke up and the pre-market futures were showing the Dow was going to open up down 180 points, kind of confirmed that we weren't breaking out just yet. But the benefit, again, of candlestick analysis, which is what everybody should kind of be aware of when they're looking at the charts, notice what happened in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ opened way down also, but right on the 50-day moving average. So because of the visuals of candlestick analysis, we could see exactly where investor sentiment was heading to. And then, because of the green or red of our candle, when it started going green, that was a little bit of evidence that they couldn't get it down through the 50, especially with stochastics down here toward the oversold area, that we might be still looking at a basing or bottoming area. That allows us to make decisions a lot more quickly based on if this was opening lower and heading lower, our short positions were going to be working just nicely. The fact that they opened lower and started heading up was some evidence that maybe this was a basing area. We should be a little bit more conscious of what to do with the short positions. Let's see what the other ones did. The SPY also opened lower, and just the fact that we have green candles here basically tells you that even though we're in this range, that there's buying occurring at these levels. I didn't do this very well tonight. That's not what I want. Oh, is this crude oil? Why am I not in the right crude oil? But they already closed out the September crude oils? That's not right. Well, for crying out loud. I guess it's just the Septembers are now, the crude oil is moving up. This is not working well. They must have shifted over to all the other there's gold. Okay, gold's still in this downtrend. Yeah, maybe it is CLAQ, crude oil. Yeah, okay, there you go, August. The crude oil might be getting a little bit toppy, so this is, again, just look at the probability setup. Stochastics in the overbought area. Apparently today we did a Harami Doji. It's opened up a little bit positive after hours, but if you start seeing it sell off, there's a good possibility that this is starting to tell you that this getting toppy is starting to come back. Yeah, I've got it at 74.12 right now. Okay. All right. We recommended ARQL today because of the cat driving because of the kind of the J-hook pattern setup. So this one can still be bought, especially if it breaks out through this level. Oh darn cat. Okay, come over here. Duluth, a J-hook pattern. Let's make this. This is your classic. Look at your fry pan bottom, J-hook. This is the exact reason why you want to identify the patterns. SGMS, still heading down. Once again, we saw the failure on Friday where it came up to the T-line and came back down. Told us they weren't changing direction just yet. LCI, another short that is still heading in the right direction. However, look where you had the hammer signal. Right about the same level you did a hammer signal over here. The Stochastics in the oversold area. So this is telling us a story. I am going to check. That's almost, is what you would consider a tweezer bottom. That's close enough to each other to say, this is the support level right here. So if you're short, you're in the oversold area, you're seeing a hammer, you're seeing a tweezer bottom, gives you that much more, alert to cover your short position if it opens positive on yesterday or tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow's going to be a half session day. Now, we recommended going shorter. We bought some puts on Red Robin because of the dumpling top. But this is why the visuals of candlesticks is that much more clear. What should we have been expecting if this was a dumpling top? That hard slam to the downside. But we're in the oversold area and we're starting to see buying. So what's that telling us? They're using this area as support. So we covered the short positions of the puts because this was now telling us the probabilities of it being slammed to the downside had gone against us. What we want to see coming out of a dumpling top, something like this, where they slam it to the downside. If this right in this area had done another buy signal, that would have told us that this was a support area. I think I bought puts near the close of Friday. I don't know. I got that email too. I don't think we're doing a class tomorrow on the doji. It might be just a recording. Let me make sure. Oh, I can't check because I've still got my June calendar on my desk here. I'll find out. All right, I'll have to find out. I thought it'd be kind of, the market closes early. If it's time to do one, okay, we'll do it. But I'm betting you all by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the market closes at 1. You're all going to have beer and hot dogs. And all right, we'll do the dynamic doji. We might do that. Yeah. Well, I'll let everybody know tomorrow. I don't mind doing it. I just figured other people would already be heading out to the beaches. All right, OLED was one. All right, I'll check. See what OLED. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Also popped up, so you would have covered your short position, but notice what's happened today. They took it right back down again. So this still might be a good short in the sense that this might be doing your bearish J-hook pattern. Allows you to see, at least visually, where there might be a higher probability trade setup. Duluth, when you enter Duluth, so where if you enter Duluth, you've got to figure if this is wave 1, wave 3 should be up here. So you could still be buying it. Yeah, you still could be buying it here. John, no, it doesn't really impact the candles because it, it doesn't impact because it's still the process of everybody buying and selling during a specific time frame, even though it might be that the time frame is shorter. It's still telling you whether the bulls or the bears were creating signals or patterns. So, again, the probabilities become a lot more evident. We had bought some puts on Diebold with the overall analysis of Diebold being that it was in a downtrend. Let's make it even smaller. You can see the downtrend. You can see how it failed here at the 50, which told us, let's see if I can, we kind of had a resistance level here, or a resistance level right here at the 50, and or the possibility that it would come back down to the bottom of this channel. However, remember, whatever we analyze as a possibility, our first criteria, don't do that, is what are the signals telling us? Well, what it was telling us over the last couple of days was that maybe the force of this trend is not there anymore, that they finally reached bottom, that you might be at a support level. So what was it telling us? Well, stochastics in the oversold area, there's still some buying going on here. So the probability says it's going against us. If we were heading down to this level, what should we see to break those bullish probabilities? If it came back down here through the lows, that would tell us they're still in a downtrend, and now that makes that target that much more viable. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, so Tesla, not good. Big bearish engulfing after the left-right combo. And again, this is a situation where once you saw it open up, you still had to be a little bit leery because your stochastics were heading down, and obviously in this case, continued to sell off. Now, we were also had bought puts on NVIDIA, which had failed here at the T-line. But today, what do we have? A piercing signal in the oversold area. What's that telling us about our probabilities of a downtrend? That's becoming much less. So we had some a put spread on this that we went ahead and covered. Netflix also had the prospect of selling off, but today's piercing signal, closing above the T-line, told us the selling force isn't there. If you'd been short, you definitely wanted to cover that short position. Amazon, not telling us much of anything. Kind of still sideways here, but it did close up above the T-line with a piercing signal. So if you start seeing strength, where's your next likely target? Right up in this trajectory. Labu came back up. And this is where you observe the obvious. Where were people buying this one today? Right smack dab off the 50-day moving average. Where did it close today? Right smack dab on the T-line. A bullish engulfing signal after a hammer type signal. Stochastics coming up. If you're trading this, what's your confirmation? They open this positive tomorrow. What are they telling us? They're confirming the bullish engulfing signal, and they're telling us the T-line's not acting as resistance. That becomes a high probability trade setup. Now, Nugget had a big day on Friday. So what did we need to see today? We needed to see it trade positive or open positive and trade positive. The fact that they opened it lower and traded back down told us not to get in it, number one. Number two, what did it tell us about the strength of this signal? It wasn't confirming. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else. Okay, here's some charts that look good. This one on the short side, DISK. If this opens lower, what do you got going for you? A bearish engulfing signal, a series of dojis. If it opens lower tomorrow, you've got a bearish doji sandwich with the potential of this type of magnitude. So where is this potentially able to pull back? You can see there's a little gap right here, right at the 50. Where else would you watch? Where everybody else was kind of watching. Your Fibonacci retracement levels. There's your 38, there's your 50, there's your 62. So again, is it going to get there? No, but if you throw these on here and it comes back here and you see it does a hammer off of this level, that tells you it came back to the 50% retracement when the buyers stepped in. MRNS. You can see the J-hook pattern, the doji gap up. If it opens positive, what pieces of information do we have? Well, number one, it's going to move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. Number two, if they open it positive and trade positive, breaking out through this level, what do we got going on? Our J-hook pattern is confirming. Bullish engulfing on SENS. It's below a $5 stock, but it's got a good pattern setup. There's your fry pan bottom. There's your J-hook pattern. That's your classic. So I don't follow stocks below $5, but this one's a very good trade setup. But if this is wave one, which went from, say, 350 to 550, that should take this up to 630. That would be a decent percentage. Good evening, Kay. I'm glad you finally got here. Let's see. Run. Nice J-hook pattern setup. Speaking of run, I'm sitting here. I've got the drop ceilings here in the office, and I can hear whatever they are, whether they're squirrels or chipmunks. They're running in my ceiling. That's always great to have going on. Sedge. This one's got a good looking chart to it because you have a bullish engulfing right here at this support level, followed by another bullish engulfing. What's that pretty much tell you? Tells you the bulls are taking control. That's got a good prospect of heading up. That's an idea. Put the cat up there. That's true. Finally let her earn her keep. Zebra, kind of your cradle pattern. Where's your next likely target? What the trend, the top of the trend was. So that becomes a good option, high probability option trade. DRYS, Morningstar signal. I think this is also your classic fry pan bottom J-hook pattern. So the reason you want to stick with these type of setups is because as long as you can identify the pattern, you know your probabilities, even when the markets are heading lower, J-hook pattern, like in Funko, you could see when it was time to buy as it was breaking out through this level. VNet was kind of the same scenario. So as what was the high probability option trade? That was Sedge, I think. Sedge. Well. But more than likely, this might be something where you do a spread, where you buy the 50s and you sell the 55s, because that probably would be your first. All right, was a zebra? Oh, yes. So you got a left-right combo, cradle type pattern, heading up here to your this level. Again, with the probabilities highly in your favor, it's going in that direction. Overstock. If this opens positive, what do you got going for you? A bullish doji sandwich that would take you up through the 50 and then make your next target probably up here in the top of this resistance level. APTI, Morningstar signal, right smack dab off the 50. At least we know our first target is probably pitchfork. I don't even know what a pitchfork is. First target up here anyways, and then if it breaks out through that level, you know we've probably got another good run to it. GTHX, another Morningstar type signal. However, you can see how this one might not be as intriguing, because you can see there's kind of a wedge formation. So what's your first likely target? Whoops. Right here. So if you're buying, just watch to see what it does here. If it breaks through, now you've got a good strong trade. So the other way to look at it is you could wait for it to come up here. If it breaks through, then you could be buying. Your return won't be as good, but your probabilities will be that much greater. Another left-right combo. This one should have a more intriguing chart. Oh, in the sense that you could be heading back up here to the top of the channel, which could give you a good 40% upside potential. And BHVN, J-hook pattern, Morningstar signal, little inverted hammer, another one that has the prospects that if this is gone from 29 to 45, 16 points, that should take you up to the $57 area. what happened. And this is where you kind of observe again the obvious. What's acting as the support level? The 50. What do you see at the 50? A bullish engulfing signal followed by a doji sandwich. Where do you think your next target's going to be? Up here. SMCI. Bullish engulfing signal. Where? Right off the 50 through the T-line. What's your next prospect? Or at least probably an uptrend, possibly to the top of this trend channel, which would also look like a 30 to 40% upside. So will these hit these big returns? No, but at least you had the prospect that if you're putting your money in something where the upside potential is good, it's better than putting your money into something where your upside potential isn't all that good. Big bullish engulfing. Remember our simple analysis of candlestick analysis. The bigger the signal, the more compelling that there's been a change of investor sentiment. And Kara, there's your message. This told you the message was the profit taking was over. Look for more upside. KFRC. This was your hint. There's your big, huge hammer signal. Now you've got kind of a doji sandwich. Where's your next likely target? The top of the trend channel. All right, on the short side, now the reason you usually find a lot better longs is just on the simple case of the markets are in and oversold and we're starting to see buying, excuse me, that you probably want to start looking at long positions more so than short positions, but you always want to have some short positions in the arsenal of ideas. This one, I don't know, see that there was a trend channel that was broken with this gap down. That pretty much should tell us, there's a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Could take you down into this area. Wynn Resorts, kicker signal. I told you they not only failed, but they failed with some strength. You can stay short. Now you know what your parameters are. If you're shorting this one, you don't want to see it come back up through this level. There could be a lot more downside in this one. TSRO was another one of our shorts. Because of the failure at the 50, you can still be shorting this one with the prospect of this being your target, the downtrend remaining in progress. ADT, I know everybody was looking at that on the long side, but when it slammed, notice what we had going on. It's gone the other way. Now, I'm going to make this smaller. Humbug. You can see what the overall direction is. If they bring this back down through the 50 after the sell signals, you've probably got a good prospect of it coming back down into this area, which would also be about a 40% downside potential. And Derm, another case of observing the obvious. Selling There's your evening star signal. Then they are bearish belt hold, and you're sitting right smack dab right here. I mean, that's obvious. That's a support level. So if it opens lower tomorrow, what do you got going on? A breach of the support level with the potential of a bearish doji sandwich, at least maybe that magnitude, but your prospects are that you're probably coming down to this level, which would also make for a decent percentage move to the downside. And AERI, bearish Harami, close below the T-line. Another case where it could be coming back here, and or if you threw your Fibonacci number retracement, you watch to see what happens at those levels. Okay, so remember, tomorrow is going to be a short day. And because it's a short day, there's probably a good prospect that a lot of the traders have already gone. So there's probably not going to be too much activity, which is good and bad. It usually means on a day like that, when there's nobody around, that if you find the ones that are moving, they're going to move with more enthusiasm because they're the ones moving on a day when nobody's around, so everybody's going to be trading those. ELTH. Well, that thing's gonna. That is a cat. What the heck is going on here? Looking at this on the basis of that was your trend breakout with a fry pan bottom. You stay long as long as that doesn't give you a sell signal. Okay, that's about all we got tonight. Whoops, hang on for 1 second. Let's see. AVEO. Yes, is a left-right combo. So what's your next analysis? Well, you had a big hammer followed by a gap up, now a left-right combo. So your next result would be if it opens positive, yes, you could be buying. And then just watch, see what happens there. All right, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. We'll do all these fairly quick, only because there's not going to be a whole lot of trading tomorrow, and obviously not a lot of trading on Wednesday. So now do your next double line. RRC, Range Resources. Nothing great here on this one. That one I would just not be long or short right now. There's just nothing to sink your teeth into on that one. AES. Kind of the same scenario. If you had been long, if you're going to stay long, it needs to get right back up above the T-line. If it trades lower tomorrow, you want to close it out. There's kind of your J-hook type pattern with the expectation that now you're back up here. Usually what happens on these type of trades is you got a trend, you got consolidation. When they come back up, they come right back up into that trend, and they did it in this case in one day. Avis. So observe the obvious again. I say the observe the obvious. This is why you want to see what the candlestick signals. You got a doji. Now you're getting a little bit of buying, and you're here in the oversold area. If you were short, you don't want to see this open positive. This has to open lower and trade lower to stay short. And EXEL. You can stay long on this one, especially with your kicker type breakout. Okay, it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, so I would stay long on this one. PBYI. Stay long on this one, as long as it stays above the T-line. You got kind of a junky fry pan bottom, but all fry pan bottoms are going to be fairly junky. We did Range Resources. EAP. Another one where if you are long, it has to open and trade positive. If it starts trading lower, that means they're coming back to the T-line. CAJ. Ooh, let's see. Is that traded overseas? That's kind of a choppy chart. That looks more like something that's traded overseas. If you're short, you stay short. Facebook. You can be buying this one if it opens positive tomorrow, getting you back up above the T-line. Can't tell. It looks like a bullish engulfing. If worst case scenario, it's a piercing signal. Oh, Diana. Apple, bullish engulfing right here off the 50. Another one that you can be buying on positive trading as long as it stays above the T-line. And GBR, big breakout. You trade this one off your 10-minute chart. Costco, at close below the T-line after your dark cloud. After kind of your bearish doji sandwich, you should have closed this one out. You can always buy it back if it comes back up above the T-line. But right now, I would be out of it. ATNX, another one that you can be buying, but I'd be more apt to buy it above today's high, telling me that you broke out, and now you're in a new wave on this one. And AVA. AVA. One that you can buy on a possibility of a breakout. Obviously, you can see kind of the wedge. So you can buy this one on strength. SNCR. Something's wrong. I think we were trying to pull this up today on the other, on TCNet, and it wouldn't come up. Micron. Not anything great yet. If you were short, I would have covered the short today. I definitely wouldn't be going long yet. You still need to see more bullish confirmation. Square, kind of the same scenario. If you were short, you would have covered your short today. You need bullish confirmation to decide to go long on this one. DFS, same scenario. Because now you have a doji, bullish confirmation. It faded. Now you've got more bullish confirmation. I wouldn't be long or short this one just until it either breaks out or breaks back down. But right now it's in a stage where I wouldn't want to be in it. TPGE not coming up for some reason. VRTX. This one had a big breakout. Another case where when they break out big percentage-wise, there's your best friend. If it opens lower, you close it out. And then you can always buy it back if it comes back up through that level. But I'd be a buyer of this one on strength tomorrow. XLRN, same scenario. I would have closed it out with that big move. If they open it lower, you close it out and you wait to buy it when it comes back up through that level, whether it takes 1, 2, 3, or 4 days. If it never comes back up, then you got out at the right time. GBX. So this is a case too where, again, that same scenario, you had a big best friend signal. It opened lower, you get ready to close it out, but as you see it's immediately started trading positive, tells you, well, I'll wait, and I'll just stop out if it comes back down through that level. So this one you would stay long, or should have stayed long, because they started buying immediately. CWH. If you're long, you can stay long, even though it was a little bit dicey today, but it has to open positive and start trading positive. What it's basically telling you is first you had the 50 as a resistance. Now you're looking at the 50 as support. If they can come up through that level, that makes the 200 your next likely target. Now, one of them, Jaggy, now can be bought on positive trading with the expectation of coming back up to test that level. The Russell, bullish engulfing. You're still not above the T-line, but it looks like you're trying to base in here. You can be buying if it comes up through the T-line tomorrow. S&P 500. Excuse me. Another piercing signal. Get ready to buy on positive trading. I think that's basically the SPY, same scenario. CBAY. Left-right combo. If you like this one, you can be buying it with the anticipation that the trend channel is still in progress. ACRX. Looks like it bounced off of this level. I probably wouldn't be doing anything with it. If you're buying it on positive trading tomorrow, then you just have to watch to make sure it eventually gets up through the T-line. Amazon, you can be buying this one on positive trading, but it needs to stay up above the T-line. Bullish Harami, piercing signal, bullish Harami, stochastics coming up. Get ready for kind of a J-hook pattern. I think we did Facebook. BKNG. Another bullish engulfing. You don't buy this one unless it comes up through the T-line. AARK is not coming up. PP is not coming up. CERN. Excuse me. Jeez. Kind of a doji sandwich setup. You can be buying this one. Just watch to see what happens once it gets to the top of this little channel. Yes, you can be going long. VSAL. If you were short, I would have covered the short today because you got a doji, a spinning top, followed by a bullish engulfing, and here in the oversold area, pretty much telling you that they're buying in this level, so or this area. I would have covered any short. You could always go short again if it comes back down to these levels. Yeah, if we tried doing that today, everybody assured me that it was a symbol, but it's not coming up for some reason. Thanks, Marshall. Let's see, we did AVEO. AVEO. Yeah, if it can get up through the 50 tomorrow, it's got some strength behind it. PGR. Another one where if I'd been short, I'd have covered the short now. Because now you've got you got a bullish Harami and a bullish engulfing. You can start thinking about buying if you like it, if it comes back up through the T line. $5.9, another one that you can buy on positive trading because look where the bullish engulfing occurred, right smack dab off the 50. CNAT, you can buy this one on positive trading. ACXM, look for a 45 degree to come off of here. Another 45 degree prospect. Your best friend, you want to be buying this one on positive trading. AARK. S.AARK. That's just not coming up off this service. NQU8. What is that? September contract on the Qs. Yep, still lots of good stocks to trade. That's the benefit. Let's see. I don't know. NQAU8. I don't trade them, so I'm not sure what the symbol is over here, Rick. ARC Innovation Daily. Bullish engulfing. You can buy this one if it opens positive tomorrow. Okay, now remember, tomorrow is only a half a day. And more than likely, right about noon, everything is going to just dry right up because everybody's going to be packing up and not coming back from lunch. So, with that, okay, a couple people, yes. We've got 2 seats left in the Keuka Lake training. And if you are coming from out of New York State, you want to fly into Rochester on Saturday afternoon. That's where I pick everybody up. And then we have a nice, pleasant drive down to the lake through the farm country. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the morning.